Hi everyone, this is Sharon. I am here today to just give a short Etsy store update. I have 3 new kits available that I'd like to introduce to you and talk a little bit about how you might be able to use those kits. So if you watch my channel, you know that I've created a number of medieval French prayer journals this past year. And for those journals, I've used these beautiful old antique French book covers, and they're from around the mid-1800s. I've had several people ask me if I would put those covers in a kit, and I actually have been thinking about that for quite some time now and have been scanning the covers as I've been using them. I've got myself quite a collection of these books, and I thought it was time to share them out in some digital kits. So I do have 3 kits out there. Each kit has a mixture and a variety of patterns and colors. So they each have 5 different covers. In addition to the covers, I put some page spreads in the kits as well that you can use and play around with. So today I just printed out some sample sheets of what some of the covers look like. This is not all of them, and I think they came out really well. I printed these on plain old, cheap old copy paper, and the colors really came out very close to the originals, almost identical. So this is one of them in a pink color palette. And some of these you might recognize. So one of the 3 kits is more of a faith-based image selection. So they would be good for prayer books. And if you've seen, the 5 covers I have in that kit are the 5 journals that I've made this year so far. So they will have some religious images on the fronts of those. There's one. Some really pretty blues and greens and aquas. And the colors, like I said, are really close to the originals. So I'm pretty happy. If you print these on a nice high quality paper, I think you will be really satisfied with the results. This one's kind of a deep teal color. And then here's just a sampling of some of the page spreads that I have, and those that I took from various of these books. So each kit will have at least 1 title page and at least 1 picture, and then a variety of pages from some of the various books. And I tried to pick different colors and tones. Now these pages, if you're going to use them as journal pages with these covers, you may have to trim them down a little bit and do some experimenting with your printing, because they're pretty much the same size as the covers. But these pages have some really ample margins, so that wouldn't be too hard to do. Now, to me, I see 3 options for printing and using as covers, and I'm sure you would come up with many more options, but there are 3 that I'll just talk about today. So in printing these out in the kits, I would suggest when you print these, choose fit to page. And when you print it fit to page, you'll get a journal that's going to be about 8 by 4.5 inches. And of course, you can shrink and resize these depending on your printer and your software programs. Everyone has something different, so I can't really go into that too much. But just to kind of give you an idea, if you use a full page, that's about the size that you'll get with these. So I've got, for each of the 5 covers in each of the kits, I've got 2 printing options. So there will be one option where it's just the front and back cover, and you could print that on cardstock. You could print it on paper and glue it to chipboard or cardstock, and you would have yourself a nice cover that you can just fold over and do a 1 signature journal with. On the inside, you could cover that with fabric or paper or just print 2-sided. There are quite a number of options for that. And then the other image that I have in the kits would be a second one for each of the 5, where you have the front cover, the back cover, and a spine image. I've had to rebuild a number of these spines digitally because some of them were in pretty bad shape and were not exactly rectangular. So what I thought you could do with this option is to glue those 3 pieces down on a piece of chipboard and cut those out as 3 separate pieces. And then you could construct your journal accordingly. I know there are lots of videos out there on how to put journals together with like 3 separate pieces. So I won't go into that today to do any kind of tutorial, but there are lots of ways you can do that in attaching the 3 with either fabric or tape or lots of different options there. And that way you've got yourself a journal with a spine to it that you could put more signatures into. And you don't have to be stuck with just this width. So if you cut a wider piece for your spine, you could layer some decorative paper underneath and then put the spine image on top of it so that you could expand your spine a little bit, or put fabric under it, or, you know, whatever option you would come up with. So those are 2 options. And then the third thing that I thought you could do is to actually take a regular hardcover book. And here I just cut out a front and back cover, and you could Mod Podge or glue those onto your book cover on the front and the back. And then you've got a really nice, beautiful hardcover journal as well. And if you wanted, you could even put the spine piece on the spine too. The spine pieces, a lot of times I will use them instead of putting them here. I will just use them as bookmarks and make a bookmark with them, and that works out pretty nicely too. So I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration and ideas on how you might be able to use these beautiful covers. Of course, they don't have to be covers. I mean, these would make wonderful journal pages, and you could use them to make tags and journal cards and all kinds of other things as well. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope you go take a look at the kits, and until next time, bye-bye. Well, it's not quite bye-bye till next time. One more thing that I thought of that I really wanted to share with you is you don't have to feel boxed in or locked into the image that's on the front of these books. So I just scanned these exactly as the originals were, but the ones in the prayer journal kit have images on them that were not the originals. These 5, one of the 5 has the original image, but 4 of the others I wanted to swap out to match my journal. So I just found an image I liked and I cut it to size and I glued that on the front. So this is an example of one where the original picture was not this one. And so I just printed a couple of images just for demonstration purposes. I cut them to size, and you can glue them right on the front, and it gives the front of your journal a whole different look. Here's another one. So I just thought I'd mention that to you. I don't know how obvious that was. I'm sure for most of you, you would probably think about swapping out if you didn't like the image. So now it really is bye-bye till next time.